Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, Salil. Brilliant display of batting. Some dominating batting display by the Indian middle order, middle lower order, if I may say. What are your thoughts, Salil? First take on the first session, how it went.
Well, I think apart from the first few balls that were bowled and the rain that came in, the day was absolutely brilliant for Team India. Even England looked like they had those chances to take those wickets, but I think it ended pretty nicely with India scoring at the rate of 3.4 runs in over. And Rahul is still there, so there are hopes of him getting a century and him taking India over the 250 mark. I think should be the target of their next session.
Yeah.
Is clearly possible. All in all, a good session for India. I think this is a session for India.
Salil, the loose balls that were bowled by England, each and every loose ball was dispatched by the Indian batsmen. You see, Pant, he took the attack to the opposition, no doubt about it. But KL Rahul, if we speak of him for a minute, every loose ball, every over pitch delivery or something short and wide or on the pads, he was going for his shots. He was not really, trying to just bog down there, and that's something that is really positive. So, what is your take on this innings that he has played? Do you think that he's matured over the innings as well?
Yes, I think he must have felt this huge amount of responsibility on his shoulders as soon as we lost those three wickets
Correct.
yesterday. Standing at one end and seeing three wickets fall down, including your captain and one of your sheet anchors, is not the easiest thing to do. And you know your position in the team, which has always been slightly topsy turvy over the last 18 months or
Right.
but the good part is if he's a good bat, he's backed himself and he's made sure that he made his innings count. He knows that he's quite a handful. He's not, although he's not counted as a test heavyweight. I clearly feel he wants to be one. There is
Yes.
hunger in his batting that you get to see. There's a lot of determination. You see him shaking his head if he's made a mistake. So I think he's constantly talking to himself. You see. I don't know. Some time ago, we've seen Rahul Dravid, deep in his mind, conversing with himself. These are the batsmen that actually think about and talk about their cricket to themselves. So Rahul looks like that
Yeah.
part, and he played absolutely brilliant for his 75 today. So I think kudos to him.
राहुल नाम में ही कुछ बात है for the Karnataka boy he's some next level cricketer and he was enjoying his batting for what I saw. But what is your take on Rishabh Pant here? You think one shot too many, or what was that ball just stopped on him and he'll be very disappointed because he was looking really good, he was taking the attack to the opposition, Salil? What was your
Yeah.
take on his innings and what did you think when he got out?
Well, I mean, I don't feel bad anymore when Rishabh Pant gets out because I know that it's not some way that needs to give the bowler some kind of credit. He's always there's always this fish in the hook situation when Rishabh
Yeah.
Pant is batting. Bowler has to nearly understand and take it. Give him a couple of loose balls, he'll hit you for six, and bowl something different, and he might just make a mistake. It's very normal to expect that out of Rishabh Pant. But having said that, knowing that the kind of swing the Indian bowlers, the England bowlers were getting, I think quite clearly if he's not the guy who's going to stand there and just wait for the ball. I think stepping out to Anderson was a brilliant idea,
Made a
and
statement
that
there.
really sets the tone. Sometimes you need to take the offense, to the opponent as well, and I think he could manage around 25 runs. That over was quite topsy-turvy. Honestly, there was a four that went when he flashed at a ball,
Yeah.
outside off stump. Then another short ball which he tried to pull got a top edge and went for six. It typically felt like the last over of a T20 match, where the ball's flying everywhere,
Yeah.
anything apart from the slips. And the last ball is where the ball really stood up and he just played with it and got holed up. So quite sad for Rishabh Pant, but at the same time, I think if he's got that stroke of luck for two balls, something should tell him that all right, I've been lucky twice. I may not be lucky the third time.
Correct.
That could help him be on 40 balls and 50 runs instead of 20 balls and 25 runs. I think he could do that. I mean, if he's
Fantastic.
got lucky a couple of times, then you need to feel that it's a stroke of luck.
Absolutely. And there's a fan comment here, Salil. Best innings for KL since a while in Test Arena. I think that's what you just said, that the way he's playing, He's on to a big one, isn't he, Salil? And probably in the next segment, the tea break, we might be genuinely talking of him, getting to the, triple digit mark. So, do you have to answer? What do you have to answer this question? And what would you say to Paras here?
Well, I think it's not since a while. I think it's since he last played in England and
Yeah,
scored a 149. I think this is the match that he's really played after that. In the middle, Indian Test scene was India was winning all the Test matches, and there were a lot of changes in the team. And Rahul was here and there. He was not among the runs, but I think among the 15-20 tests that you play, the tests that you play in
correct,
a country like England or in Australia are the ones that really count because those are the ones which are evenly poised. Honestly, these are the strongholds of Test cricket right now, current day Test cricket. So I think Rahul has really come of age. He's found a really big stage to catapult him. It's not like you need to see a calendar year of runs. You go
yeah,
to England and play two great matches, and then people realize your potential. So he's really getting a backdoor in, possibly to the Indian team, and creating problems for the other openers, which are
yes,
extremely talented. You know, the guys who are sitting out are brilliant. You know, Agarwal, Prithvi Shaw, you've got Shubman Gill. I mean, the list goes on.
yeah.
So yes, I think that's great for Indian cricket. Great options for Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane and Ravi Shastri. So no complaints, no complaints. All
No
positivity around
complaints.
for the Indian batting.
And you speak of Indian batting. What is your take on our Talwar Baz here? Because Ravindra Jadeja seems to do nothing wrong. He's batting there. He's keeping it really simple, Salil. By the looks of it, and a couple of great straight drives he's played. Okay, he's
Yeah.
looking like a man in form. So, what do you have to say about his innings and just his approach of this innings that he's playing today?
But I think Jadeja is a thinking cricketer coming from playing under MS Dhoni. I think some amount of
Yeah,
intelligence and smartness would rub off on him, and he's done that in the past. In the last couple of years, he's been extremely responsible for India, not throwing his wicket around, or he was never such a player anyway. But
yeah,
I think by taking up more responsibility, Jadeja is uh, Jadeja is showing what kind of a player he's matured into. Also, it's not that this is something that needs to come as a surprise. He is one of the top five guys to reach 50 wickets, to reach 200 wickets and 2,000 runs in Test cricket.
oh,
So Ian Botham did that
nice.
in 42 matches, and Jadeja has done that in 52, while Ravichandran Ashwin's done that in 51. So you can see the amount of the contribution that Ravindra Jadeja brings to Indian cricket as an all-rounder, because he's already scored 2,000 runs, and that also comes at an average of more than 30. So you can always expect a score of 30 from Jadeja if that's what the averages do tell you. And I think he can really dig in with Rahul and score another 100 runs along with him, because he can accelerate at will. The ball, obviously, maybe the new ball might be due in another 20-25 overs, but these 25 overs might be slightly easier to play.
Yeah,
So I think they might be up for something really special in the second. And this is the time where you can consolidate, get those runs, and put England on a serious back foot, because their batsmen will be staring at a total to reach first, a
yeah.
lead to finish, and then a
Then
target to set for the Indian
correct.
batters. So
Correct, correct. And you can see the pressure on Joe Root's face. The amused Joe Root, he was smiling and happy when, the Indian batting collapsed yesterday. But today you can see the grin on his face. He's not really happy with the way things are going around. And just that India are scoring at a great rate, like you mentioned earlier. And the bowlers as well, Salil. There's nothing much to offer. And even if there is something on the pitch, the plan doesn't seem to be clicking. So what are your thoughts? What's going on in his head, or what different things should he do now to make sure that he gets that one breakthrough and there's a lapse in concentration from one Indian batsman on Joe Root's part?
well, I think he got Sam. He played a lot of Jamie Anderson and Robinson. I think by the time England had bowled around 55 overs, Robinson had already bowled 18 overs, which means
Yeah,
either one, the Indian batsmen are used to a bowler who's bowling brilliantly, and you've kept your other bowlers hungry and waiting for a long time, and they come to bowl at said batsman.
correct.
So I think that could be one of the worries that Joe Root would have committed. I think what happened, if you see, when they got Sam Curran on, and he didn't bowl really much yesterday. Today he bowled a few overs, and he got past Rahul's edge
Yeah,
many
a lot
many
of time.
and he was quite lucky. So I think Joe Root needs to try that out. Maybe try a different strategy, a change of ends, because currently with no spinner in the team, obviously the conditions also don't support spin. It'll just be some easy slow bowling to play. But a change of ends, something, a change in mood does make a big difference. So
Correct.
maybe they need to stick to their guns.
So Salil, one last point before we go off. What are your thoughts on the innings, and what do you think is the ideal total that India will reach before the next session? And just some take us through for the next session. What's your prediction if you had to make one?
Well, I think they would score around 75 runs, around 70 runs. They can score.
KL
They are going
KL
on that.
100, KL 100 or no
Uh,
Salil? That
Definitely,
was
if they're going to score
my
75 runs, KL will definitely score 100 runs, although he scored only like 25 runs today, while around
yeah.
50 runs have been scored between Jadeja and Pant. But that's fine. He was kind of also playing the sheet anchor role, with being the only genuine batsman who's batting at the crease. So definitely a KL 100 if things go as they are, and if India go to a lead of 70 plus, they will definitely be in a driver's seat.
Wow.
I think they need to go at it session by session, Yash,
Correct. Correct.
and not think about the end of the day, because now if they're thinking of coming into bat, it might rain another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The weather might change and couple of quick wickets, and then suddenly everything goes. So you don't really need to make those long term plans. In fact, even a session needs to be broken down to see, all right, the ball's swinging. Let's just hang in for a bit. Let's hang in for 10 overs. Let's give them 10 maidens. It's fine. Let's not put our bats out. And I think that's where you build an innings really solidly, and you'll be able to set up a very good total for England to really catch up to the lead. And you never know. I mean, if they play two sessions today, England might be in to save the match when they're back.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is how India should be thinking positively. But again, it should go session by session. They should break a session into two or three parts and then apply themselves. That's the only way they can get through this.
Absolutely, Salil. And the first session was clearly, the whole, circle was to India. There was no domination from England whatsoever, apart from that punt wicket. But, to sum it off, our Guruji has predicted fans that I think, KL is going to reach 100. So we back your prediction and let's see how it turns out. Live action coming up in some time. Players and umpires will be out there shortly in 10-15 minutes. And I'll see you in the tea break, and probably we'll have a great discussion over a cup of tea of KL Rahul scoring a brilliant 100. You never know. A big 100
Yep.
for him and a big opportunity for him, Salil, like you just said. And you made some great statements that this could really, make the Indian selectors scratch their heads as to who should start in the next coming games, because you've left out Mayank Agarwal, Prithvi, and all of them are on the bench. So big statement made by KL here. Live action coming up, Salil, in some time. Thank you for joining with me. This was Sports Adda Live. Thank you.
Thanks, Yash. Thanks.
Thank you.